Now, I want to spend a couple minutes on this one. Usually I try to do funny stuff like, oh, go check this out. You might find some amusement in this. But I do want to talk about a trending hashtag that really just started trending this week, and that would be hashtag Boycott In N Out. That's right, hashtag Boycott In N Out. And the reason for this is news just came out this week that In N Out, the parent company of In N Out, it's just called In N Out, I guess. They don't really have a parent company like Yum Brands and all that kind of stuff with a lot of the others and everything else. But there was some news came out this week, broke, that in California, In N Out actually donated $25,000 to the California GOP party. That's right, the California Republican Party. And, of course, everyone promptly lost their minds and sending this hashtag into a trending, area. I don't know, what do you call it? Making this hashtag trending. But that's what's happening. Boycott In N Out. Now, the reason I really wanted to unpack this for a few minutes is I get it why everyone's upset. This is like what we were dealing with 6 years ago with Chick-fil-A. I think that was back in 2012. I could be incorrect on that one. 2012, 13, somewhere around there. And everyone wanted to boycott Chick-fil-A. And this was when they were just expanding. Like Chick-fil-A's were popping up in California for the first time ever. Outside of colleges and stuff where they had some of that presence. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, I know for a fact, had a Chick-fil-A in the 90s. This weird little, you're like, they do have Chick-fil-A in California. I remember it from my short time in Florida because I was born in Miami, and that was a special treat to hit the Chick-fil-A. But looking back, the Chick-fil-A was in a mall, like pretty much in a food court, and it was a full restaurant, but it was in a mall. It's not, but kids, chicken nuggets, stuff like that, tend to enjoy it. Now, the reason I really want to unpack this is this shouldn't be news to anybody. Everyone's losing their minds, but really, if this is something that is that important to you, this is where your awareness has to come into play. Because we all know this, and in fact, back in 2012, when all this stuff was happening with Chick-fil-A and they were donating to anti-LGBTQ groups, I pointed out to many of my friends, this podcast didn't exist back then, but I pointed out to many of my friends at the time, so you're not eating Chick-fil-A, but you'll go to In N Out. And I said to all of them, you realize that In N Out is an ultra Christian company. And they are most likely making similar donations that would upset you. So when this news broke this week, $25,000 to the California GOP, I was like, why is this a surprise to anyone? They have Bible verses on their packaging. And that should be fine. I've constantly defended religion and everything else, especially over the past year and a half. Really since the election in 2016, I've done as much as I can to defend religion, because I don't see a problem with it. However, we have reached a point, and I talked about this last episode or the one before with the Catholic Church, and how now you cannot give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. You cannot give them the benefit of the doubt. You're seeing Bible verses on packaging, on cups and everything else. What do you expect? What do you expect? These ultra-Christian companies obviously support Republicans in the GOP because they are so small-minded that all they see is pro-life, same-sex marriage. These are the things that we support pro-life. We are against gay marriage. Clearly, we need to be part of the Republican Party, and that's the problem with Christianity and with religion right now in this country is that they get so close-minded. It's all black and white to them, despite the fact that they don't realize that the Republican Party tends to really not care about people, really not care about working class, middle class individuals in this country. So why is this a surprise that In N Out is donating to the California GOP? It should be no surprise whatsoever. If you want to I'm not even going to sit here and say boycott In N Out. $25,000 is a drop in the bucket. I'm not saying boycott In N Out. What I'm saying is don't be surprised. And in fact, if you were freaking out about Chick-fil-A and you're kind of wavering on In N Out, let me tell you one thing. Chick-fil-A's in this country, I don't even know if they're international, but I know at least in this country they're all closed on Sundays. All of them closed on Sundays because that's the Lord's Day. That's the Sabbath. It's not even really the Sabbath. The original Sabbath is Saturday. I'm not going to get into semantics on religion. I happen to be a little educated on those things. 13 years of Catholic school. Liberal Catholic school where they make you learn about other religions. But here's the thing with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A will franchise to anyone that is financially and responsibly qualified for the most part. We learned this years ago. There are owners of Chick-fil-A franchise locations that don't agree with a lot of those things that come down from the corporate office. You know the interesting thing about In N Out? In N Out will not give a franchise. I repeat, will not give a franchise to anyone who is financially capable and responsible enough to own a fast food franchise, a QSR, quick serve restaurant franchise. I know this for a fact. I have a friend who years ago tried to buy an In N Out. And this friend also happened to be very, very Christian. In fact, his father at the time was a Christian minister. He was told by In N Out he was not Christian. His values were not Christian enough for him to own an In N Out. This is a completely true story. I'm not making any of that up. Now, if he'd gone to Chick-fil-A, especially if they had been expanding out to California, this was in California, if they'd been expanding out to California, then they would have given it to him. In fact, most likely they're going to give a franchise to a same-sex couple. Because as much as their corporate office supports things that many of us would disagree with, they still give out their franchises. And we learned that years ago. We know that for a fact. Because many franchise owners came out and said, no, I don't support these things. It's the corporate office. However, In N Out is a different beast in itself. So keep that in mind if you're heading out to buy a double-double. I'm not calling for a boycott or anything. I enjoy my In N Out. Trust me. I haven't had it in months. Last time I had it, my father-in-law was in town because he comes to town and he lives back east. Anytime he comes to town, like, when are we going to go to In N Out? And I get it. He likes In N Out. We're going to go, you know. Again, I'm not saying boycott it. I don't know how often I will be going there just because I don't go there that often to begin with. But do with that information what you will. Do with that information. That's all I can say, is do with it what you will. And all of that is 100% true from firsthand experience. And here comes the hate mail from people. No. Shut up. Firsthand experience. I apologize if my firsthand experience doesn't fit your narrative. I get this all the time. I get I don't want to say hate emails, but I get angry emails. I'm like, I apologize. This is my firsthand experience on a lot of things. And if it doesn't fit your narrative, it happens a lot of times with Red Cross. Because they call out Red Cross on their bullshit and people get mad. I'm like, oh, but Red Cross is great. Yeah, have you really researched it? And then I apologize because I have dealt with it firsthand. And I don't even really apologize. I just apologize that you're upset. I don't apologize for being correct. I'm just apologizing because you're upset. That's how it works.